You tell me one athlete right now that's been dominating the game for 16 years straight without a loss. Tell me one.
How you doing, everyone? My name is Ryan and this is Ade, and welcome back to another edition of Box Talk. After a short summer holiday, everything that's going on, we're back and we're here to give you all the news, reviews in boxing, and we're going to start off this time with Mayweather Maidana, the rematch. It's a rematch that people have, well, it's kind of fell under the radar. In a sense, whereas, yes, it's Mayweather, yes, it's a marquee match, yes, it's a pay-per-view, but the undercard ain't doing much. And no, is the rematch really? Was it worth it? Ade?
Mayweather's like a bloody marketing genius. He's a marketing genius. He probably could be the marketing exec of bloody Apple or something. He's that good at marketing. But what he's done, he's bringing a lot of casual fans to boxing, which is good.
Yeah.
You can't complain. But when he wears these TBE hats and says, I'm the best ever, the casual fans that he's bringing to boxing actually genuinely believe he is the best ever. Go on, what you go?
And us real boxing fans go,
yeah, the real boxing fans go, no.
yeah,
He's not the best ever. And so to real boxing fans, this Maidana fight has gone down almost like, it's gone down so lukewarm, this rematch. Look, when the first Maidana fight was announced, we were like, is that it? Where are the options? I mean, it was between him and Amir Khan. We were like, is that it? It was a decent fight. It wasn't a great fight. I watched it a few times now. It wasn't a great fight. Did it deserve a rematch? Of course it didn't.
I agree with you on the point about Mayweather being a marketing genius. Yes, he brings casual fans. Yes, he brings elements to boxing where boxing has lost. So you've got to give him credit for what he's doing to the sport and how he's bringing the sport to a certain level. I understand that. But at the same time, as I said, when you start having a certain talk and the certain things you say, which you have no proof or no something to do, and then after that you get this 250 million contract with Showtime, which we all know I don't like, because it was guaranteed us fights that mean no substance, and now we get a rematch of a fight that, in my opinion, was no better than 4 rounds to 8.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, like, Maidana was in the fight, yes, he made it dirty, he made it tough on Mayweather, but making it tough and making it dirty does not win rounds. Winning rounds is like scoring clean, effective punches and dominating ring generalship, controlling the fight. Mayweather done that out of 8 of the rounds or 4. So for me, the rematch really means nothing much. When you only got a few fights left in your contract and you say you're calling at the end of the day sooner than later, if you're the best ever, should you be fighting the best opportunities out there?
Yeah, no, that's it. You're right. And I think what a lot of people forget is he's the 154 WBC champ as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Every time he seems to mention an opponent, yes, Saul Alvarez was brought down a couple of pounds, whatever. Why does no one ever bring the 154 guys into the argument? Why are we always only looking at the 147 or even the 140 guys?
That's what hurts me. That's what hurts me the most, yeah? Don't get me wrong, Mayweather has fought some big guys. He fought Miguel Cotto. Even though Miguel Cotto was a smaller guy, Miguel Cotto's got to 160 and just won the undisputed champion. Yeah. So you give him credit for that. Yeah. Don't get me wrong.
Can't knock that.
And also take a look at Canelo. Yes, he's another big guy. But people talk about it. Maidana is really a 140 guy that's come up to 147. Khan's a 130-40 guy that's come to 147. They're talking about Danny Garcia being in the Mayweather seat state, who's a guy who's 140 come up to 147. Why is he not fighting the guys that are around his weight class or the guys that could kind of challenge him? I'm not saying there's a lot of challenges out there, but when you only got 6 fights on your contract and you've done 3, 4 of them now, do you really need to have a rematch against a guy you already beat handedly?
Yeah, look, that's the problem. It's going down, and you can tell by people's response in this one. Look, as soon as the fight was announced, people were like, you can tell by Twitter. That's what I love about social media. You can almost gauge the reaction straight away, and the reaction was like, okay. You know what I mean? Like you say, Mayweather's probably got 2 fights left, 3 fights left. He's got, I think, 2 on the contract after this, and then he's probably going to say he calls it quits. Because of that, we want to see you now. If you've got a couple more fights left, go out on your shield. We don't want to see a rematch because that's something that we didn't really want to see Maidana in the first place. We definitely don't want to see it again. Look, the name that's been linked to him all the time, or the people that I want to see him fight, is Gennady Golovkin. Yeah. Gennady Golovkin has said he will come down to 154. Yes, you're right, Golovkin will have an advantage in terms of weight, but look, Cotto took on Martinez. Yeah. And yeah, everyone in hindsight can say Martinez's legs were gone. Yeah. The weight advantage was massive, but Cotto still took the challenge. And that's what I want to see Mayweather. I just want him to take a big challenge. And Golovkin's that guy that admittedly says he will come down to 154.
I wouldn't go as far as Golovkin. I understand your point. I wouldn't go as far as Golovkin. But I'm just saying that, you look at 147, what we're doing is the best division in boxing, yeah? There's still unfinished business with a certain man I won't mention because it just causes stupid arguments. That's available. Timothy Bradley's available. Even though top ranks and also, you're the man that runs boxing. You're the king of pay-per-view. Yeah. You run the show. You got Al Heyman, you got Leonard Ellaby, you got Golden Boy, you got everything. You say it yourself. You're the best. You run the show. If you run the show, please give us something you want in your last 2 fights.
That's a bloody good point. With Mayweather, there is no Cold War.
Yeah.
You and Al Heyman are boxing right now.
You run the show.
You want Timothy Bradley, you can get Timothy Bradley. You want Pacquiao, the name you didn't want to mention, you really can get Pacquiao if you want.
And those are your peers, the guys in your own division. Guys are not bigger than your 154, 160. These are your own guys, you're not having them. And people say I'm a Mayweather hater. I'm not a Mayweather hater. I'm a fan of Mayweather. I applaud his skills all the time. I just say that, look, if you're the best, if you're pound for pound, if you've got all the attributes and all the skill, fight the guys out there for you. That's all I want.
What I want to see as challenges, look, we had Bernard Hopkins. Look, we know we're big Bernard Hopkins fans. Bernard Hopkins was at 160. Lost a couple of fights to Jermaine Taylor, disputed. We see what Jermaine Taylor's done now. He ruined Jermaine Taylor's career. Yeah. What did he do? I want to go up to fight 175 Antonio Tarver. He was odds on to lose that fight. But you know what? He took the challenge. He took the challenge, and that's what I want to see Mayweather do, is take the challenge.
This is not a Hopkins video, but Hopkins, the reason why I say Hopkins is the only true, or one of the only true Hall of Famers we have in boxing, in a sense, with John Will Marquez, Pacquiao, and Mayweather. But Hopkins, to me, is the top of the list because he's never ducked no one in 20 years. You check his record, check his fight. He's mostly fought more world titleists, more former world champions, current world champions, much about 29 of them. Or if you count in the ring belt, maybe I think it's 32 or 33 of them. That's a Hall of Fame career.
Yeah, and it's even like, look,
come on.
Again, this is not Hopkins' video, but very quick, it's even the Kovalev thing. Like, literally, people are saying, what are you doing fighting Kovalev? Don't be stupid. Yeah. He is the Gennady Golovkin of that weight. Hopkins, like, I'll challenge him.
But that's what I
fight him. And that's the kind of thing you want him to do. Mayweather does this thing, he does this thing, like, obviously, Adrian Broner took on Maidana. Yeah. He almost like, he watches the blueprint and said, I'll take on Maidana. Yeah. Andre Berto took on Guerrero. He watches it and thinks, I'll take on Guerrero. Take a challenge, please.
Think about it like this, yeah? If take out the dodgy points decisions with the Canelo fight, which one had a draw, and the Maidana fight, which one had a draw, Mayweather normally wins about 8 of the 12 rounds in a fight. 8 of the 10 rounds, generally. He might get a little wide decision on some of these silly judges' scorecards, but we all know he won 8 out of 10. And these are guys that we know are below him. So if you fought a guy just a slightly above, he might win 4 or 5. Sorry, win 7 or 8 out of the 10 rounds. But it's still more competitive for those 2 or 3 rounds. He's never been in a situation for over 10 years where he's actually been in a competitive fight, where he's actually losing behind the scorecard. He's always ahead of the scorecard. And this is the same criticism what Vladimir Klitschko gets as well, where he wins so dominantly all the times, people want to see him fight some other guys.
What weight did Mayweather start? Was it 120, 126? What did he start?
No, Mayweather started at 130.
130 pounds, not 126?
130, I swear it was 130.
Either way, 126, 130. He's moved up to 147. Yeah. So he's moved up. Say, let's give him the benefit of that and say 126. Yeah. So he's moved up 20 pounds. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I think the small weights are confusing to fans because when they say stuff like 8-weight world champion, it's because there are so many weights within that division. Roy Jones, for example, started at 160 pounds or 154. I'll have to double check. He went on to fight John Ruiz at 200 pounds. That's a 50-pound differential.
And Roy Jones weighed, I think it was 193, and John Ruiz weighed like 228 or 232.
This is what I'm talking about. Look, John Ruiz ain't the best heavyweight, but the argument I'm trying to make is when Mayweather says I'm fighting guys that are naturally bigger than me, you've moved up 20 pounds from the start of your career to now. Naturally, the human body moves up 20 pounds.
I'm about to say the same thing, yeah? If you go check a picture, you go get a picture of yourself 20 years ago or 15 years ago and check your weight then and your weight now. You might look the same, but you weigh different. That's just part of life, you grow.
Anyway, look, I'm not going to talk about this video anymore. What's your predictions?
My prediction is Mayweather by decision again. I think Mayweather is a smart guy. That we know his boxing IQ is incredible. We know his skill set is incredible. And Maidana made him fight and made him a bully. What happened in that fight, in my opinion, is that Maidana came out with no respect and ran across the ring, and Mayweather was not shocked but surprised by that, and that gave Maidana the edge in those first 3-4 rounds. It was kind of competitive. After Mayweather worked him out, he led the way and lost the fight, left him in the dust. This time, Mayweather knows he's coming across, and that's what's going to happen. Maidana cannot improve on his performance, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Mayweather can.
That's a good point.
And that's why I'm going for Mayweather by decision.
Yeah. No, it's a very good point. It's not too dissimilar to the Froch Groves situation, where everyone kind of said Froch underestimated Groves, and everyone said Groves couldn't get any better than that performance he did against Froch, and it almost proved in the rematch he didn't fight as good. That was the limit, and I think it's the same thing with Maidana. I think Mayweather's that good a genius in boxing. I mean, ring IQ only superseded probably by Bernard Hopkins. Them two are like neck and neck in terms of ring IQ. That I just think he's just gonna walk it. I really genuinely believe that he could just walk through this fight pretty easily, and I think he will.
You know, you always have friends in boxing. You take away someone's skill or take away their tool, and you leave them open for anything. Mayweather's gonna take away that aggression by circling him, by turning him, by keeping that range. He will do all the skills he's got. I mean, Mayweather can fight dirty as well. Don't think Maidana didn't get some elbows in that fight.
Got some low blows.
Exactly. Mayweather knows how to discourage this guy, and Maidana's gonna do his best he can. But unfortunately, the level in skill is so far apart that the roughness and aggression will only help that much.
I'd like to see at the end of the fight what numbers this does, and the reason I want to see what numbers it does is because we say Al Heyman and Mayweather run boxing. He's signed to a Showtime contract. That's the thing. How much influence does Showtime have in terms of who he fights next? Because look, they signed Mayweather and they're giving Mayweather a guaranteed 50 million, 40 million. Mayweather's numbers don't do well, and the pay-per-view card ain't going to help him. They've tried to put Angulo on as a kind of a crowd favourite. They might have a decision who he fights next in May.
I tell you what, Showtime is not happy right now. And I'll tell you why. Mayweather's figures have been going down progressively. It's so bad that about 2 months ago, Showtime announced that they're not going to release the figures for Mayweather Maidana.
Which they always do.
Yeah, because it's causing too much stories and this and that. It's not causing too much controversy. The numbers are just not as good as it used to be. Now, don't get me wrong. Even if he does 1 million buys, the rumour's about 900,000.
Yeah.
But if he does 1 million buys, that's still an amazing number.
Yeah, it is.
But when it's Floyd Mayweather, they want that 1.3, that 1.4, that 1.5.
And let's be honest, it's the come down from Alvarez, isn't it? It is. I mean, this time last year, it announced Alvarez, and the buzz on Twitter and social media was just immense.
Robert Guerrero was reported under 100 million. Under 1 million.
Yeah, 800,000.
800,000. I'm saying these are not bad numbers, these are still great numbers. Even for any pay-per-view sport in the world, it's great numbers. But Mayweather's expected more. Showtime's put so much money in, knowing that they should be getting their money back. Yeah. They've only got their money back really on one fight out of the four fights so far. This fight, most people do more due to the rematch, but I don't think they'll do much more.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking at around the 1 million mark. But in saying that, I mean, look, Miguel Cotto, Sergio Martinez, they just said didn't hit 400,000. Yeah. So it shows Mayweather still is doing fantastic numbers. But they weren't guaranteed purses. They weren't signed to these guaranteed contracts like Mayweather is. And like you know, Mayweather comes with all the brashness. You are expecting £1 million to happen. I'm with you. I think Mayweather does win this and wins it convincingly. Who does he fight in May very quickly if he does win? He mentioned, I think, on an interview that he's going to give us something special in May. Is that just Mayweather talk again?
Mayweather always said he's going to get something special. He always said he's got something for the fans. He did it for the fans. This was the fans' choice. I done a poll. I done this. Everything's for the fans. Again, that's part of Mayweather's marketing genius. Yeah. Whereas he has his own fan base where people are literally in love with Mayweather. Yeah. And what they say, or what he says, they say. Okay. So, you know, I'm not going to give no predictions for May. All I'm saying is that we know who's out there in the divisions. There's 2 divisions for him to choose from, which are quite comfortably. Yeah. I don't want to see no one from 140 coming up. And like I said, 160 is a touch much, I think. But he's got 2 divisions to choose from, and there's marquee names all around him. Pick one. Okay, look, guys, there you go. First video back, and it's the man that we go for straight away, Mayweather. Look, it's the rematch. It's a rematch that no one really wanted. And you can tell by the kind of volume on Twitter, on Facebook, and all YouTube, you can see the response to the fight. Yeah, people are interested because it's a good fight, but it's not the fight we want, especially when Mayweather's only got 2 fights possibly after this left. We want to see new contenders. Like Ryan said, there are guys out there at 147. There are other guys out there at 154. Mayweather can really have his pick. He is the king. He can literally pick whoever he wants. Forget all that Cold War talk. He can fight whoever he really wants, if he wants to. Look, guys, leave your comments below. It's the first video back. Tell us what you think. Email us at boxtalk@hotmail.co.uk. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter at boxtalkuk. And guys, don't forget to subscribe as well. And also check out ringnews24.com for all the latest news about boxing. Guys, thanks for watching Boxtalk.